Namaste. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our special episode series that we are starting on the studying of the Sadharma Pundarika Sutra. This is also called as the Real Dharma Lotus Sutra. This is a very important sutra that I've been waiting for a long time. Dr. Lim has been teaching and telling about it, but the whole purpose of having that as a study material. I've been waiting long, and today is that day when we start this journey of studying the Lotus Sutra. So, again, we will be doing this Friday, Saturday, Sunday at 6 a.m. And this will be part of the Sunya Open University Learning Project. And hence, welcome everyone to Seoul. And we will be doing the translated version thanks to Rucha and her team who have worked to translate this from Chinese to English, and then we will be studying that. This will also be a process of reviewing it, and if we find any flaws, we would correct it on the go. Okay, so let's start studying, reading, and also trying to understand what the Lotus Sutra really means. Okay, let's start, begin. Okay, and before that, we will also quickly do our 9 to 0 practice of Shunya meditation while Ajay prepares the slides.
Before starting practice, please sit comfortably, keep your back straight, and keep your hands relaxed in any mudra. Remember, one breath in and one breath out is one count. While reverse counting, gently focus on your natural breath. Do not force your breath. At the sound of the bell, begin your practice. Start. Okay, so we start the Lotus Sutra, the Sadharma Pundarika Sutra. We are going to do the scroll 1, volume 1, translated into Chinese by Kumarajiva, Tripitaka Acharya of Kucha and the later Chin dynasty. Okay, this was translated by the SIF Department of Sutra Translations under the guidance of Dr. Lim. We also want to thank Rucha here. She has done a special effort of translating this. And I'm going to do now the review of reading it, and then on the way we'll also edit it. So today it was done, the date of translation was the 25th of May 2026. Yeah. Chapter 1, Nidana, the introduction. Thus have I heard. At one time, the Buddha was staying at Rajagriha on the mountain Gridakruta, together with a Mahasangha of 12,000 bhikshus. All of them were arhants who had attained ashravakshaya, that's the destruction of defilements, free from any further afflictions, having accomplished their own true benefit, destroyed all the fetters of existence, and achieved absolute mastery of the chitta, that's the heart of the mind. Their names were Adnyata Kaundinya, Mahakashyapa, Uruvela Kashyapa, Gaya Kashyapa, Nadi Kashyapa, Shariputra, Mahamaudgalayana, Mahakatyayana, Aniruddha, Kafina, Gavampati, Revata, Pilinda, Vatsa, Bakula, Mahakausthila, Nanda, Sundarananda, Purna Mantrani Putra, Subhuti, Ananda, and Rahula, such well known great arhats and others of the assembly. There were also 2000 more who were still in training or had completed training. The Bhikshuni Mahaprajapati was there together with her retinue of 6,000, and Bhikshuni Yashodhara, the mother of Rahula, was also there with her retinue. There were 80,000 Bodhisattva Mahasattvas, all of whom were irreversible in their pursuit of Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. All had attained dharani. They delighted in eloquent speech, turning the irreversible dharma chakra. They had made offerings to immeasurable hundreds of thousands of Buddhas and had planted the roots of many merits in the presence of those Buddhas. They were always praised by the Buddhas. They cultivated themselves with Maitri, that's loving kindness, and had skillfully entered into the wisdom, the prajna of the Buddha. And they had thoroughly penetrated great wisdom and reached the other shore. Their fame was heard throughout immeasurable lokas, and they were able to liberate countless hundreds of thousands of sentient beings. Their names were the Bodhisattva Manjushri, the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahastambha Prapta, the Bodhisattva Nityayukta, the Bodhisattva Anikshipta Dhura, the Bodhisattva Ratnapani, the Bodhisattva Bhaishajya Raja, the Bodhisattva Pradhana Shura, the Bodhisattva Ratnachandra, the Bodhisattva Chandraprabha, the Bodhisattva Purnachandra, the Bodhisattva Mahabala, the Bodhisattva Amitabala, the Bodhisattva Triloka Vikramin, the Bodhisattva Bhadrapala, the Bodhisattva Maitreya, the Bodhisattva Ratnakara, and the next Bodhisattva Nayaka. Such Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, 80,000 in number. At that time, Shakra Devendra, the lord of the Devas, Indra himself was present together with his retinue of 12,000 Devaputras. There were also the Devaputra Namachandra, the Devaputra Sarvagandha, the Devaputra Ratnaprabha, as well as Chatur Maharaja Kaikas, together with their retinues of 10,000 Devaputras, the Devaputra Ishvara and the Devaputra Mahaishvara were there together with their retinues of 30,000 Devaputras, and the Brahma Raja, sovereign of the Sahaloka, namely Mahabrahma Shikin and Mahabrahma Jyotish Prabha, and others were present together with their retinue of 12,000 Devaputras. There were 8 Naga Rajas: Naga Raja Nanda, Naga Raja Upananda, Naga Raja Sagara, Naga Raja Vasuki, Nagaraja Takshaka, Nagaraja Anavatapta, Nagaraja Manasvin, Nagaraja Utpalaka, each together with their retinue of many hundreds of thousands. There were 4 Kimnara Rajas: Dharma Kimnara Raja, Sadharma Kimnara Raja, Mahadharma Kimnara Raja, and Dharma Dhara Kimnara Raja, each together with their retinue of many hundreds of thousands of those. Next slide. There were 4 Gandharva Rajas: Rati Gandharva Raja, Rati Swara Gandharva Raja, Subhadra Gandharva Raja, Subhadra Swara Gandharva Raja, each together with their retinue of many hundreds of thousands. There were 4 Asura Rajas: Asura Raja Bali, Asura Raja Karakshan, Karakshanda, Asura Raja Vemachitrin, Asura Raja Rahu, each together with their retinue of many hundreds of thousands. There were 4 Garuda Rajas: Mahatejas Garuda Raja, Mahakaya Garuda Raja, Mahapurna Garuda Raja, the Manojnya Garuda Raja, and each together with their retinue of many hundreds of thousands. Ajatashatru, the Raja, the son of Vaidehi, was present together with a retinue of many hundreds of thousands, All of them performed Vandana, that's paying respect at the feet of the Buddha, and withdrew to sit to one side. At that time, the Bhagwan was surrounded by the fourfold assembly who made puja, that's offerings, paid respect, honored, and praised him. For the Bodhisattvas, he expounded the great Mahayana Sutra called as the Ananta Nirdesha, which teaches the Dharma of Bodhisattvas and is protected and upheld by the Buddhas. Having expounded this sutra, the Buddha sat cross-legged and entered into Samadhi, called the seat of immeasurable meanings. His kaya and chitta perfectly still. At that time, the Devas rained down the Mandara flowers, Mahamandara flowers, Manjusha flowers, the Mahamanjusha flowers, scattering them upon the Buddha and the great assembly. Throughout all the Buddha lokas, 6 kinds of trembling occurred. At that time, the members of the assembly, bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, upasikas, devas, nagas, yakshas, gandharvas, asuras, garudas, kimnaras, mahauragas, humans and non-humans, as well as the minor rajas and the Chakravarti Samrat, all of these in the great assembly experienced something they had never known before. And with joy they joined their palms and gazed upon the Buddha with one mind. At that time, the Buddha emitted a ray of white light from the urna, that's the circle of hair between his brows, illuminating 18,000 lokas to the east. There was not a single one left unillumined. From below, each reaching as far as the Avici hell, that's the Naraka, and above, reaching as far as the Akani Stha, that is heaven, the Akanistha heaven. From this loka, one could see in full the sentient beings of the 6 realms of existence in those lokas. One could also see the Buddhas presently dwelling in those lokas and hear the Sutra Dharma being expounded by those Buddhas. One could also see the bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, and upasikas in those lokas, as well as those who had attained the marga, that's the path through practice. One could further see bodhisattva mahasattvas with various causes and conditions, various forms of faith, that's shraddha and understanding, and various appearances, all practicing the bodhisattva marg. One could also see various Buddhas entering the Mahaparinirvan, and one could see that after those Buddhas had entered the Mahaparinirvan, stupas of the 7 treasures were being erected over the Buddha Sharira. At that time, the Bodhisattva Maitreya thought to himself, the Bhagavan is now manifesting miraculous transformations. For what reason and cause does this auspicious sign appear? The Buddha Bhagwan has now entered Samadhi, which is inconceivable and is manifesting something that has never before occurred. Who should I ask? Who would be able to answer? Then he further thought, Manjushri is the son of Dharma Raja. He has already been close to and made puja to immeasurable Buddhas of the past and must surely have seen this rare sign before. I shall now ask him. At that time, the bhikshu, bhikshunis, upasakas and upasikas, as well as the devas, nagas, the yakshas, as the ghostly spirits, as all thought regarding this manifestation of the Buddha's divine light and supernormal powers, who should we now ask? At that time, the Bodhisattva Maitreya, wishing to resolve his own doubts and also perceiving the state of mind of the fourfold assembly, bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, and upasikas, as well as the devas, nagas, ghostly spirits, and the rest of the great assembly, asked Manjushri, for what reason and cause does the auspicious sign of supernormal power appear? This great radiance shining upon the 18,000 lokas to the east, revealing in full the adornments of the Buddha realms there. Then the Bodhisattva Maitreya, wishing to restate this matter, spoke this gatha in question. O Manjushri, for what reason does the light emit from the urna between his brows, a great light that illuminates everywhere? It rains mandara, and manjushka, and a fragrant wind of chandana delights the chitta of the multitude. By these causes and conditions, the ground is entirely adorned and pure. While this world realm shakes in six ways, at that moment, the fourfold assembly is completely joyful. Body and mind are filled with pleasant exhilaration, obtaining what has never been experienced before. The illumination from between his brows shines towards the eastern quarter, making 18,000 lands all appear golden, reaching from the Avici hell up to the summit of existence. Within all these world realms, the beings, the living beings of the six destinations, the paths where they transmigrate in birth and death, the conditions of their wholesome the or unwholesome karma, and the pleasant or unpleasant vipaka, that's retribution, they receive, all these are fully visible here. One also sees the Buddhas, the noble lion lords, expounding sutras that are wondrous and supreme. Their voice is pure, producing a gentle sound, teaching countless billions of bodhisattvas. Their Brahma sounding voice is deep and wondrous, delighting those who hear in their respective lokas. Each expounds the Samyak Dharma through various causes and conditions. With immeasurable parables, they illuminate the Buddha Dharma and awaken sentient beings if one encounters dukkha and is weary of birth, that's jati, jara, old age, and marana, death. For them, nirvana, cessation is taught, an ending of all dukkha. If one has the punya, that's merit, and has made offerings or puja to the Buddhas, seeking the superior dharma, for them the marg of Pratyeka Buddha is taught. If there are Buddha sons who practice various practices, seeking the unsurpassed wisdom, for them the pure marg is taught. Manjushri, remaining here, I see and hear such things, and 1,000 billion more. Such multitudes, now I shall speak of them briefly. I see in those lokas bodhisattvas numerous as the Ganga Valuka, the sands of the Ganga, through various causes and conditions seeking the Buddha mark. Some practice dana, gold, silver, coral, pearls, money, jewels, cat's eye stones, agate, diamonds, various treasures, servants, carriages, jewel adorned palanquins, giving with joy. They dedicate this towards the Buddha mark, wishing to attain this vehicle, the supreme one of the three realms, praised by all Buddhas. Some bodhisattvas give four horse jeweled carriages, railings, and ornamental canopies as dana. Some bodhisattvas are seen giving their own flesh, hands, and feet, as well as their wives and children, seeking the unsurpassed marga. Yet others give their heads, eyes, and bodies with delight, seeking the prajna, wisdom of the Buddha. Manjushri, I see Rajas going to the Buddha's presence, asking about the unsurpassed marg, and then severing the ties with themselves from their realms of pleasure, palaces, ministers, and consorts, shaving head and beard, and donning the Dharma robe. Some bodhisattvas are seen becoming bhikshus, dwelling alone in quiet seclusion, delighting in reciting sutras. Others are seen exerting themselves with vigor, entering the deep mountains to meditate on the Buddha marg. Others are seen who have disassociated from all desire, who always dwell in empty quietude, deeply cultivating dhyana, attaining the five supernormal powers. Yet others are seen sitting serenely in dhyana, palms joined, praising the Dharma Rajas with tens of millions of gathas. Still others are seen whose wisdom is deep and resolve is firm, able to question the Buddhas and receive the and uphold all they hear. Buddha's sons are also seen who are complete in samadhi and pragya, expounding the dharma to the assembly using immeasurable parables, rejoicing in expounding the dharma. They transform the bodhisattvas, defeat the armies of Mara, and beat the dharma drum. Others are seen who dwell in serene silence, respected by devas and nagas, yet not rejoicing at this. Others are seen dwelling in forests, radiating light, delivering those who suffer in Naraka and leading them into the Buddha marg. Buddha's sons are also seen who have never slept, who practice the Chankramana, walking meditation through the forest, diligently seeking the Buddha mark. Others are seen who are fully trained in the precepts with conduct that is without flaw, pure as jewel, seeking the Buddha mark. Buddha's sons are seen who abide in the power of Shanti, that's patience and endurance, able to endure all things even when arrogant persons revile them, curse them, and beat them. All of this borne patiently in order to seek the Buddha mark. Other bodhisattvas are seen who have disassociated from the frivolous laughter and foolish companions who draw near to the wise with one mind, eliminating distraction, gathering their awareness in mountain forests for hundreds of billions of years, seeking the Buddha mark. Some bodhisattvas are seen offering fine foods and drinks and 100 kinds of medicines to the Buddha and the Sangha, fine robes and upper garments worth tens of millions or robes of priceless value given to the Buddha and the Sangha community. Hundreds of millions of kinds of chandana, sandalwood, halls, and precious dwellings, and all manner of fine bedding given to the Buddha and the Sangha. Pure parks and gardens with flourishing flowers and fruits, flowing springs and bathing pools given to the Buddha and the Sangha. Such acts of dana, various and wondrous, given with joy and without fatigue, seeking the unsurpassed mark. Some bodhisattvas expound the dharma of shunyata, emptiness, instructing countless sentient beings in various ways. Others are seen contemplating the nature of all dharmas, non-dual like empty space. Buddha's sons are also seen whose mind clings to nothing, using the wondrous prajna to seek the unsurpassed mark. Manjushri, there are also bodhisattvas who, after a Buddha has entered Mahaparinirvan, make puja to the Sharira. Buddha's sons are also seen constructing stupas and shrines as numerous as Ganga Valuka, adorning the land. Jeweled stupas of superb height, 5,000 yojanas, with length and width equally 2,000 yojanas. At each and every stupa, there are 1,000 banners and pennants, curtains of interlaced pearls and gems, and jeweled bells ringing in harmony. Devas, Nagas, divine spirits, humans and non-humans constantly make pujas with incense, flowers, and music. Manjushri, these Buddha's sons, in making puja, that is offerings to the Sharira, and the adorning the stupas, cause the land naturally to become extraordinarily and wondrously beautiful, like the king of celestial trees with its flowers fully in bloom. The Buddha has emitted a single ray of light, and I and the assembly see these lands in all their various and wondrous features. The supernormal powers and the prajna of the Buddhas are rare. In emitting a single pure ray of light, they illuminate immeasurable lands. Seeing this, we have experienced something we have never before encountered. Buddha's son, Manjushri, may you resolve the doubts of all. The fourfold assembly looks up with joy, beholding both you and me. For what reason has the Bhagwan emitted this light? Buddha's son, answer now. Resolve these doubts and bring joy. What benefit does this radiance serve? The Buddha, seated at the Bodhi Mandala, the wondrous Dharma he has attained, does he intend to expound this, or is he about to bestow Vyakarana, the predictions? He shows all the Buddha lands adorned with many treasures and pure, and the Buddhas are seen everywhere. This is not a trivial cause, Manjushri. You should know that the fourfold assembly, Nagas, and the divine spirits all look to you with discernment. What is it that you will speak? At that time, Manjushri said to Bodhisattva Mahasattva Maitreya and the other great Bodhisattvas, Kulaputras, as I reflect on it, the Buddha, Bhagavan, now wishes to expound the great Dharma, to reign the great Dharma reign, to blow the great Dharma conch, to strike the great Dharma drum, and to proclaim the meaning of the great Dharma. Kulaputras, I have seen this auspicious signs in the presence of the past. Buddhas. After emitting such radiance, they immediately proceeded to expound the great Dharma. Therefore, you should know that when the present Buddha now manifests this radiance, it is likewise. He wishes all the sentient beings to hear and understand the Dharma that is difficult to have faith in throughout all the worlds. And for this purpose, he manifests this auspicious sign. Kuluputras, in the past, over immeasurable, boundless, inconceivable, asankhya kalpas, there was a Buddha whose name was Chandra Surya Pradipa. Tathagata, worthy of offerings of correct universal knowledge, endowed with Vidya, knowledge and conduct. Sugata, knower of the lokas, unsurpassed person, trainer of men, teacher of devas and humans, Buddha, Bhagwan, he expounded the Samyak Dharma, right teaching, good in the beginning, good in the middle, and good in the end. Its meaning deep and far reaching, its language skillful and wonderful, pure and unmixed, perfect and replete with marks of brahmacharya. For those who sought Shravakayana, he taught the Dharma of the Chatvari Arya Satyani, enabling them to transcend jati, jara, vyadi, and marana, and to ultimately attain nirvana. For those who sought the marga of Pratyeka Buddha, he taught the dharma of Dvadasha Nidana, 12 linked of dependent origination. For the Bodhisattvas, he taught the dharma of Shataparamita, six perfections, enabling them to attain Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, unsurpassed complete enlightenment, and accomplish the Sarva Jnana, all knowing wisdom. After that, there was another Buddha, also named as Chandrasurya Pradipa, and then another Buddha, also named as Chandrasurya Pradipa. In this way, there were 20,000 Buddhas, all sharing the same name, Chandrasurya Pradipa, and all sharing the same Gotra, clan name, the Gotra Bharadwaj. Maitreya, you should know the first Buddha and the last Buddha were all of the same name, Chandrasurya Pradipa, complete with the 10 epithets. The dharma that each expounded was good in the beginning, good in the middle, and good in the end. Before the last of these Buddhas renounced the household life, he had 8 princes. The first was named Mati, the second Sumati, the third Amitamati, the fourth Ratnamati, the fifth Gunamati, and the sixth Vimati Samugati, Gatin, Vimati Samugatin, the seventh Goshmati, and the eighth Dharmamati. These 8 princes possessed majestic power and authority, each governed the 4 continents. When these princes is heard and that their father had renounced the household life and attained Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, all of them renounced the throne and followed him in renunciation. They gave rise to the Mahayana Chitta, constantly practiced the brahmacharya, a noble life, and all became dharma teachers. They had already planted the roots of various virtues in the presence of thousands and billions of Buddhas. At that time, Chandrasurya Pradipa Buddha expounded the great Mahayana Sutra called as the Ananta Nirdesha, Sutra of Immeasurable meanings, which teaches the dharma of bodhisattvas and is protected and upheld by the Buddhas. Having expounded this sutra, he sat cross-legged in the midst of the great assembly and entered the samadhi, called the seat of immeasurable meanings. His kaya and chitta perfectly still. All at that time, the devas rained down mandara flowers, mahamandara flowers, manjusha flowers, and mahamanjusha flowers, scattering them upon the Buddha and the great assembly. Throughout all the Buddha lokas, 6 kinds of trembling occurred. At that time, the members of the assembly, bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, upasikas, devas, nagas, yakshas, gandharvas, asuras, garudas, kimnaras, mahauragas, humans and non-humans, as well as the minor rajas and the Chakravarti Samrat, all of these in the great assembly experienced something they had never known before. And with great joy, they joined their palms and gazed upon the Buddha with one mind. At that time, the Tathagata emitted a ray of white light from the white hair tuft between his brows, illuminating 18,000 Buddha lokas to the east. Not a single one left unillumined, just as the lokas that are now being seen. Maitreya, you should know at that time in the assembly there were 20 billion bodhisattvas who delighted in hearing Dharma. So here, if you see today, we have read through the first part of the Lotus Sutra, and now you can see how important this sutra is, because the retinue, the audience is almost everybody of all kinds. And when Manjushri is being questioned by Maitreya about and representing everybody else's question, why these auspicious signs are being seen, we should understand that this is not a normal event. It's an event that's cyclical. It has been happening through different lokas. And every time when there is that peak of teaching that comes in, that particular time, the Buddha, when he emits that light, that means he is now showing you everything. And on the east, when he's showing you all different existential lands, the six realms, the people that are going through different kinds of suffering, the division of hell and heaven, and everything in between, as well as all the different Buddhas at different levels working continuously. Not only that, if you see the explanation here talks about the bodhisattvas, the kind of offerings they are doing to the Buddha. You can see everybody wanting to go on the Buddha mark, the path of the Buddha. That means the ultimate awakening that everybody wants from that so-called conditional illusion that we all carry ourselves with. That particular path shows that this particular sutra is definitely one of the most important sutras, and with such a huge audience, and the numbers can be crazy. We have not yet calculated, but it could be crazy. And these huge numbers, the most beautiful thing is all this is beginning with an auspicious sign. And now let's take this into our real life. There are events in our life where suddenly there is a major shift and a change that happens, but it always comes with an auspicious sign. If you look at those signs in your life, you know that all that is happening is a transformation, and something great is about to happen. This has been happening from billions and billions of years, and evolution processes always brought something better to our lives. As a species, as humans, we have evolved. There has always been a good side of transformation, and if you have seen that, you will always and always participate in the transformation, not call it suffering, and then lead yourself into that mental state where you start self criticizing, self analyzing, and then telling that this is not right and this is right, and going into that dualistic mode. Instead, we participate in this auspicious occasion where transformation is inevitable, and Lotus Sutra is beginning with that. And I think when this is being expounded in the Vulture Speak, the Vulture Speak is physically being explained here, that this is Giridharkita in a place near Bihar. But in actuality, this is a place where even now they say the Lotus Sutra is being expounded, because for us, we think time is moving, but existence is constantly doing what it has been doing always. It works behind that particular shield of time, and it keeps on doing and repeating itself. That is why we call this all as cyclical events. Even the so-called cycles of our life are repetitive cycles, and if you see these loops that run along, even teaching is a loop, and that is even now being expounded. And the most important thing is that the expounding of this sutra is being now exaggerated, and not exaggerated only in terms of the vast numbers of people that are involved and the kinds of beings that are involved. It's being talking about as if the whole universe is there, engaged in this act of transforming, teaching, and going on the path of the Buddha. And that shows how profound this Lotus Sutra is. And the name, the Sadharma Pundarika Sutra, is not just given like that, because at the end, Lotus is symbolic of awakening. Lotus is symbolic of that pure you that arises from all the dirt around you. And that means that there is no other way. It's through suffering that there is liberation. And that suffering can be a choice that you make. That means the efforts that you put into your life, accept the difficulties that come, the challenges that come in your life, and keep on moving, because that's the process of becoming the Buddha. That's the process of blooming into a lotus flower. And I think if we see that, we will stop cursing, we'll stop blaming, we'll stop feeling sad about the way life has been showing up to you. Instead, we will consider all this as nutrients, all the so-called suffering that we call as your you can say fertilizers, that is going to just help you to bloom better. And I think if we understand, the beginning of the Lotus Sutra is just preparing us for the beautiful teaching that is going to follow. As I am excited to continue this journey, just as we read along, we will be able to enter into the deep wisdom that the Lotus Sutra holds. So, see you tomorrow. Again, if there are no questions for today, we go tomorrow and we will keep on reading and studying. There will be a lot of corrections that I'll be making and taking note of, and we will try to keep the 10 names of the Buddha as the Sanskrit names are, okay, not translate them. If we could keep the names in the Sanskrit format, we will be grateful for the Chinese translators who actually managed to keep it like that. So again, see you tomorrow. Till then, namaste.